Hello everyone and welcome to the very first snapshot of Minecraft 1.10. It is exciting times. Check it out, we are in Snapshot 16w20a, and as I said, first snapshot of Minecraft 1.10. Not Minecraft 1.10 or Minecraft 2.0. It is not a decimal number, it is a version number. And what comes after 9? 10. So it's 1.10, just letting you know. And in this update we have some new blocks, we have new mobs as well, which we will get to very soon, and lots of changes that we're going to cover in this snapshot update video. And let's start off with the new blocks. Most of them are related to the Nether. This one over here, however, isn't. This is called the Bone block, and I particularly like this one because it has a lovely, lovely texture. Now, this can be placed like logs where they face in different directions. We've got one here in the middle facing upwards, and then to the side these ones have been rotated on the side. And what I'd like to point out here is look how well those connect together when you place them like that. It is really cool, and it is crafted with bone meal. So you put 9 bone meal in like that and you get yourself a bone block. Now if you put it back into there, you can craft it back to bone meal, which is pretty cool. This next one right here is very similar to nether brick, and it's actually called red nether brick, and the way that you craft it is with nether warts and with nether bricks like this, and that'll make you one singular block right there. Unfortunately this one though doesn't go back into its previous components like the bone block does. Then over here we have another block. This is the nether wart block, and guess how you craft this one? You guessed it, I know you did, with nether warts like that in a grid. And again, can't change them back to nether warts, but that reminds me actually, the tools that you need to break these different blocks are the pick. That's the default tool for these three. This one right here, however, it works with an axe. So if you're going to build with this texture, you need to chop it down with an axe and not a pick. Then over here we have another new block. This one isn't craftable though. It's going to be one of those blocks you have to go out into the nether and gather yourself. And that's not actually true. This is indeed craftable. You need some magma cream. You put it in a 2x2 grid and you get yourself a magma block. But you cannot turn it back into magma cream. And the place that you will find this stuff is down at this level where the lava lakes are. I've been flying around investigating. When you go down to where lava lakes are, you'll see this stuff everywhere, you know? Everywhere I'm looking, there's loads of it. If you go higher up to little pockets of lava that are like dripping out of the ceiling and stuff, you don't find it next to that lava. It's just down here at the lava lakes. And it has an interesting property as well. Apart from being animated, which looks extremely cool, if you are in survival mode, you will take damage when standing on this. And this is very similar to a cactus. You take half a heart every single time. So let's go back on there, half a heart. Although I wasn't quick enough. Half a heart, half a heart. And I tried this with protection armor on, I tried it with fire protection as well. And there's no way to reduce that damage, it is always going to be half a heart. So we're going to look around, and we are looking for Endermen because they can apparently now spawn in the Nether. Now if you follow my second channel, you would have seen a video about this. I've been following the tweets the developers have made, and Jeb tweeted out a picture of an Enderman in the Nether. And I haven't been able to find one until very recently. If we have a look at the log right here and scroll up, one of these should say Enderman. There it is at the very top. Now, I've run this test quite a few times, and that's the first time I've actually killed an Enderman, but the idea is that we're in the Nether, so the only place mobs are going to be spawning is here, and when we run this kill clock, it kills everything except me, the player. And every time that I've done this, all I ever see is zombie, which is zombie pigment, and the occasional... we've got a ghast right there, the occasional magma cube as well. So the Enderman in the Nether I think is extremely rare. Not something you're going to see commonly, which makes sense because I spent quite some time flying around thinking, I haven't seen a single Enderman yet. Anyway, one more thing to mention about this block before we move on to something else is that it has an interesting death message. And here it is. Asuma discovered the floor was lava. I like it. I guess it'd also be important to point out that this block doesn't destroy your items, as evidence of by my death. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to see what I know you are all itching to see, and that is new mobs in this game. There are 3 of them in total, and there are an additional 7 new spawn eggs. So let's go through those ones quickly. We got the Elder Guardian, we got the Wither Skeleton, the Cat, the Donkey, the Mule, the Skeleton Horse, and the Horse name. Obviously, all of those things were already in the game, but now they have their own spawn eggs for convenience. The 3 new mobs that we have are the Polar Bear, the Stray, and the Husk. And this guy right here is a stray. This is one that spawned naturally. They will spawn in these biomes. There's another one down there. Polar bears will also spawn in this biome, but we'll get to those in a moment. So, check it out. There is the polar bear. That guy looks adorable. And here is the Husk, who looks a little bit like a zombie, right? So basically, these guys are based on zombies. Those ones are based on skeletons. And in the patch notes, it said that there would be 2 new hostile mobs that spawn in hot and cold biomes. And so the stray right here is the one that spawns in the cold biomes, as evidence of where we are right now. So I've done some investigating, and although it looks like they're wearing some form of robes, some worn down robes, they're not actually wearing any armor at all. They are pretty much the same as a skeleton. They have the same amount of health, they have the same attack damage and movement speed, and there is nothing else really to say about them other than that they drop this item on occasion. It is the Arrow of Slowness. Now there's about a 1 in 3 chance of getting one of these alone from killing one of these strays, and I did some testing with a looting level 200 sword as well, and that made it drop every single time, but it would only ever drop one of these. So the maximum that you'll get is 1. It's about a 1 in 3 chance of getting it to drop from one of these guys when you kill them, and looting will affect your chances of getting more of these. However, I don't think arrows of slowness are terribly desirable, but it's a nice thing to have, I guess. And I know you're going to ask it, yes, these guys do hit you with the slowness arrow. Every time you get hit, you will have slowness for 30 seconds, which kind of sucks. So I have teleported over to a desert in the hopes of finding a Husk who has naturally spawned here. I found one, I found another. In fact, if we just look around, there are quite a few of them in this biome. So it would appear this is the hostile mob that spawns in the hot biomes. Now, these guys have an interesting property, which is that they can survive the sun. If we change it to daytime, regular zombies would have burned up by now, where these guys, they don't get set on fire. And again, if their texture is any hint of some form of armor, they don't have any armor, they've got no items equipped on them. And there's nothing particularly interesting to say about these guys. They are pretty much the same as zombies. They are zombie type number 6. I believe the other types are something to do with the villagers, in the same way that the skeleton type 2 is the new stray. Okay, the word is that these guys can hit you for a lot of hunger. We're in survival mode. And, oh wow, yeah, he gave me hunger, but he didn't do any damage either. Alright. So he's my friend. He can just stand here and hug me, but he'll give me hunger. I don't know what to think about that. Is that intentional? Oh wait, now he's doing some sort of damage to me. Interesting. Do you know what? It makes me a little scared for our villager friends, because these guys can survive in the daytime, and... wow, that guy decided to move very fast. Yes, villagers, check it out. It is a savannah village. They will now have bridges to go across the water. They will make use of the path block, which looks fantastic. And look at all these acacia logs and acacia buildings, orange and grey. It looks really cool. And I do believe this is applied to a couple of other village types as well. So let's fly around and see if we can find some more. But this looks seriously cool. I do like it. So, ladies and gentlemen, meet the polar bear. This little chappie right here. How you doing, guy? You're standing up on your back legs. Why are you doing that? This is a bug. If you change your game mode when they're attacking you, they will be permanently stuck in this upright mode. There he goes. He's going for a walk. That's what I really wanted to show you because it looks ridiculous and derpy. Oh, man. It is so cool. So, the polar bears, I don't know the ins and outs of them at the moment. I know that they have 30 hit points of health. That's basically 1.5 times the amount of a regular player. And when I've been flying around looking for them, I've only ever seen them naturally spawned on top of packed ice. Now, that could be because they are sort of camouflaged when on snow, but I have seen a few of them naturally spawning, and one of them spawned with a cub. And so I spawned a couple of adults around it, and the cub seems to be attached to that one specific adult. However, the adults, all of them, will protect the cub. So let's put down another one. Then we're going to go into game mode 0. Don't worry about me, I've got some armor on, and you can kind of keep away from these guys by walking backwards. And you can see, because we're near the cub, that they get aggressive. This guy's going to attack me. Let's stand still. On his hind legs he goes, and knocks me into the water. Well played, well played. Do you like to swim? It would perhaps appear not. So, is this guy still aggressive? I want to see what it looks like from back here. Oh, that is so cool. That is awesome. Polar bears in Minecraft. It makes a lot of sense to me. Wow, I've got to be careful here. So from my observations and what you saw in that video, the cub will be attached to its parent in the sense that it will follow it around, and that these guys become hostile when you're in range of the cub. And when you go outside of a particular range, that mob will become unhostile, and then the way to aggravate it again is to go near the cub. But it doesn't seem like one of them being aggressive will make other ones aggressive. It's a case of if you get too close and a polar bear nearby says no, it's going to be aggressive at you, and it's not a group mentality thing like zombie pigmen. The other thing to mention is that when killed, these guys will drop raw salmon and fish, and because there are cubs that spawn out in the wild, my instinct was to try and breed them. I have no idea how you do that. I've tried a lot of different items on them, and I don't know what breeds them. So the next thing I'd like to show you is a structure that you can find in your world, a new structure, and it is quite rare. It's not particularly exciting, but while I show you this, I want to also demonstrate another new feature, which is auto jump. I'm going to hold down forward, and my character is automatically going to bob up and down without me holding spacebar. Apparently not then though, I got stuck on that block, it would seem. And this is actually available in your menu in the options. If you go into controls, you can see that there is now an auto jump feature, and it is on by default for every player. So now when you log into the game and you walk forward towards a block, it'll jump up automatically for you. And personally, I think it's pretty good. I quite like it. It'll definitely take some getting used to, and on occasions I'll imagine it'll backfire as well. But anyway, the reason that we're going through here is to continue digging and find this structure that I was talking about, and check it out. What is that right there? It is, of course, some bone blocks. So let's break some of these bone blocks. And the game just automatically jumped me up right there, and you can see that they sort of go round in the shape of a room a little bit here, but the inside is filled with blocks. So let's press F3 and N, switch to spectator mode, and you can see the rest of the bone blocks here. Now what purpose these serve I do not know, but they're just like little clusters of bone blocks that you can find in the world. So here we are exploring a cave, and what do we see? It is some more bone blocks, which means it's another one of these little clusters. And again, like the last one, just a group of these blocks with more stone blocks on the inside and nothing really special to say about them. I've also been referring to these as structures, which they may not technically be. They could actually just be part of the world gen. But something to point out here, as we look around, do you see any others of these? They are like super rare, but not particularly useful. I guess just another small feature to be thrown into the game. So here's another one, and this time it slapped me in the face as to what this is. There are references to fossils in the patch notes, and of course these are made out of bone blocks. Now at first I was thinking, is this some like forgotten about corridor that's just been found here in amongst the stone? But no, it could actually be the spine and the rib cage of some sort of creature that existed in Minecraft a long time ago. Anyway, I do believe that's what they are. They are fossils, supposedly. So here's another change that applies to mine shafts that can be found in a mesa biome. And I spent a little while searching through different chests and minecart chests looking for this change, and then it became very apparent rather quickly. It is gold. There are now lots of gold ore in these mine shafts, which kind of makes sense, and I like it. I think it's a great addition, a good reason to go exploring in a mesa if you particularly need gold and you want to get it by caving. And yeah, just flying around here, you can see literally everywhere we go, there is gold, and it is a very obvious change now that I've spotted it. Okay, another minor change is to do with gravity-affected blocks like an anvil, gravel, red sand, or regular sand. You see it right there, little particle effect coming out from the block. It doesn't happen every time, but on occasion it does. It's a very minor detail, and it's being quite stubborn, but you did see it that once. You see them moving, right? It's no illusion, they're floating up here in the sky. And that is because there is a tag, I'm not sure if this is new or just fixed, it's called no gravity, and it now works on all entities, which means you can spawn creepers up in the sky and have them look at you. Yeah. Last but not least, we have the structure block, a new powerful mapmaker's tool. It is also a creative builder's tool as well. And I've had a little poke around with these and really just don't understand how they work. So I'm going to give you a quick overview. There are 4 different block types. There's also this structure void, some sort of invisible block. as you can see there. Anyway, when you open up the GUI for this, you can change the block type. You can see it changing right behind me. We have this one right here called data. Not really sure what that's for. Neither am I sure what corner is for. But we have save and load, which are pretty self-explanatory. However, my attempts to save this basic structure right behind have failed miserably. You seem to be able to select coordinates, although I couldn't quite get it to target those blocks. And then what you should be able to do is save this as a file in your save game folder. And there are a few other options here as well, including saving entities. So if you've got item frames on your build, or maybe even a mob you want to include, you can add that in right there. Then load would be the counter function, to load from a saved file. And the idea, I think, is that you'd be able to download a file from a friend, put it in your save folder, and then import it into your world using these command blocks. So it's kind of a little bit like mcedit, but inside the game. Either way, I've had very little luck using these, and I may make up a follow-up video explaining this in more detail, but it depends on if I actually figure out how to use it or not. So that is it from me, this Minecraft snapshot video. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like, and if it's your first time watching one of my videos, then subscribe for more Minecraft updates, and stay tuned because later today I may be uploading a new type of mob farm. I have an idea with one of the new blocks that is in the game, and I'm going to go build it right now and see if it works. But anyway, that's it from me this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.